Call to order tonight's meeting of the Ellsworth City Council, Monday, August 19th, 2019 at 7 p.m. All councilors are present with the exception of Councilor Hudson, who is absent this evening. Item 2 on the agenda, the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3, rules of order. We operate the meetings under Robert's Rules of Order and any other rules or procedures adopted at the organizational meeting in November of 2018. I also ask that if you have any pages, telephones, or any other devices, if you put them on mute this evening, please. Item 4, adoption of minutes from the following meetings of the Ellsworth City Council: July 8th, 2019 emergency meeting, and July 15th, 2019, the regular monthly meeting.
Move approval, Mr. Chairman. Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous. Item 5, City Manager's Report. Manager Cole.
A few quick items. First, some upcoming events. This Thursday evening here in the council chambers from 6 to 8 o'clock is the meeting of the Local Roads Committee, which is a historical committee of the council, but it's been revitalized and given the task of going forward and trying to figure out how to address the vast road needs of the city. Second, the next Monday night at 5:30 will be a special council meeting. I believe there are 2 agenda items that deal with the city salt bid and paving bids. After that, at 6 o'clock on Monday evening, there will be a workshop with the city council, and the school board members have been invited to discuss the facilities needs of Hancock County Technical Center and how to go about matching program and educational technical needs with the facilities that can accommodate them in the future. Also, I attended meeting of the Green Action Team on Friday, and they made me aware of a Maine nonprofit group called Window Dressers, and between September 18th and the 28th, they're going to be operating out of St. Joseph's Church here in Ellsworth. What they do is low-cost, lightweight, custom-made window frames and insulation and ceiling. And if you're interested, you need to get your order in and get involved. It's windowdressers.org or call 207-596-3073. And we're going to put something on our Facebook site as well, so our citizens are aware of this. And lastly, over the last month, I've been working with Councilor Fortier and members of the staff to look at opportunities under the new solar legislation that's come through. Both Councilor Fortier and I participated in a webinar put on by the Maine Municipal Association, but more recently I went to the Managers Institute, which is held every summer, and town and city managers throughout the state, and attended a workshop on this topic. And to me, it's the argument for the city to consider a solar project's very compelling. The incentives have been significantly increased, what they call net metering credit, which helps to offset the cost of electricity, has gone up to the point where if the city were to solicit proposals from operators who would build and operate it, own it, and provide the city with a power purchase agreement, you could save up to 1/3 on our electricity costs. In fact, the incentives now are so lucrative that you can support a 20-year power purchase agreement. So what I would say is I would encourage the council chair to appoint a council working group to work with staff, maybe 2 or 3 counselors, look at coming up with a request for qualifications and test the market and see what we get back for proposals and see if it pencils out. But I was very encouraged by the numbers I've seen, and in talking to my counterparts around the state, there are a number of communities considering it now. I would also note that there have been a couple major changes in the law. Before, a municipality could only take its top 9 metered accounts. In the case of the city, Jen, we're probably talking 60, 80, I don't know how many accounts we have. You could only take your top 9. That cap is gone. And municipality was limited to 1 meg of power. Before, now it's up to 5 megawatt. So there's been some significant increases. As a matter of fact, from the estimates I saw in the Mara, the Bangor Hydro area, what they do is they meter, in terms of the net metering credit, it's based upon the small commercial rate. And so the estimates are we would get a credit of 15.4 cents a kilowatt hour for everything generated out here, and that's a lot more than what it used to be. I don't see a lot of downside to this, because if you believe the cost of power is going to go up over time, then the credit is pegged to that and go up with it. But even if it were to go down, then the base cost would go down as well, so we would be cushioned that way as well. So I think it's at least worth considering, and Mr. Chair, if you could see your way to assign a working group to work with staff, develop an RFQ, which of course we would provide to the council for their review, and considering going out to the marketplace and seeing what the possibilities are, I think that's the way to go.
I agree. I'll consult with staff and name a group later this week.
Thank you. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Item 6, committee reports. If there's any counselors that have been to any committee meetings in the last month that would like to report on what they were or the result, now's your time.
Pick me. Went to the Harbor Commission meeting on the 14th. Gas sales are above last year, pumped 3,300 gallons, I think it was in July. Docks have been busy, transient boats in and out. Gaff Tech down to evaluate location and other odds and ends for the pump project. They plan to do that from the quiet time through the winter. Things are going fairly smoothly. The hours have been adjusted for the harbor master, and there's some issues I think with that. A few people showing up after the advertised time to buy fuel and finding it closed on 2 or 3 days a week. I think that's made it a tad difficult. But otherwise than that, things are going fairly well down there from what I understood.
Thank you very much. Is there anyone else?
Yes. On August 7th, the Recreation Commission met and we discussed, first, Downey's Family Y has started its youth travel soccer season. If your child is interested, feel free to give them a call. We also discussed, if you can believe it, Winter Carnival. That's traditionally held in February, and unfortunately last winter it was canceled due to Mother Nature not cooperating. So there's discussions about having possibly 2 different dates, so we can try to get the activities in. Also, we discussed maybe having some different events, besides what's going on at the Woodlawn. And started brainstorming for some new activities, and would welcome any input from business owners or community members for some new ideas. We'll just build on what we currently have. And then the last thing, Commission would like periodic updates from some of the organizations that receive funding and communications throughout the year about activities that their upcoming events and activities that they have recently put on and that sort of thing. So instead of just seeing them once a year, we'd like to see them a little more frequently. That's it.
Thank you very much. Item 7, citizens' comments. We set this time aside to listen to any citizen comments on anything that is not on tonight's agenda. If you'd like to say something, please step up to the podium. Please state your name for the record and let us know what your item is, please. Seeing none, we'll move on to item 8, presentation of awards. We have 2 this evening. First one is the Nate Burkhardt for 5 years of service with the Ellsworth Technology Systems Department. Nate, want to come up, please? Nate is the one of 2 that keeps my iPad running. The City of Ellsworth proudly presents the Certificate of Service to Nate Burkhardt in recognition of your 5 years of service as Technology Systems Assistant for the City of Ellsworth. Your devotion to duty and loyalty to the community have contributed to the improvement of the City of Ellsworth. Signed, David A. Cole and Heidi Noel Grindle. Thank you very much. And the second item tonight, the Ellsworth High School varsity baseball team took state honors, state championship honors this past June. And they're here tonight for us to congratulate them. Normally I would do this, but I'm going to turn this over to Counselor Grindle since she has a son on the team. So, Counselor, it's all yours.
Did like
From the heart.
Very much from the heart, yes. I'm very honored to present to you, and you boys can come up, the EHS Baseball 2019 Class B State Champions. Coaches Dan Curtis, Mike Clow, and Todd Wagstaff. I also wanted to mention the dugout mom, Lisa Fulmer. I didn't see her in the crowd tonight, but she was instrumental in the team as well. Ellsworth's first baseball state title in 31 years, since 1988, so that's pretty awesome. They had a 19-1 record. A couple of the games were nail biters for sure. This team will always have a special bond. It will always be special for me personally. It's my son Riley, not Devin. There was some confusion. There's confusion between Heidi and I, and Devin and Riley sometimes.
His mother's here too.
Yes. So. I know all the hard work that was put in by these young men, their coaches and parents over the years, some starting with Little League at age 6 or 7, so it's been quite a few years they've been putting in the hours. Proof that hard work, determination, and a little superstition gets rewarded. One thing that was really awesome was to see all the community support throughout the season. The crowds continued to grow as the season went on, and it was hard to find a parking spot during the playoffs, and that really was something great and special. I hope all that support continues throughout the years. So, well done, boys. We wish you continued success in the future, and I think Dan might have a couple of words. Dan, or are you?
Well,
Did I say them all?
no, you did great. I'm much better talking in a huddle than I am. But I just, everybody that sports baseball loves stats, so I want to tell you just a quick one. So the boys played 20 games and they scored 153 runs, and they allowed 24 runs. Pretty interesting. They won the Class B states. They were ranked #1 in the state of Maine. A lot of special things happen. We keep finding reasons to get together one more time. But, you know, as a group, they're going to be cemented forever with this common bond. And I'm sure 20 or 30 years from now, after the rest of us on this end are a little older, you know, it's something they're going to remember year after year after year. Special time for the city, and we appreciate being invited very much.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Good job, parents.
It's always nice when a group of young people can bring fame and fortune to the city of Ellsworth in a positive way.
It is. It is really great.
Next item on the agenda, the consent agenda. All items are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item would be removed from the agenda and considered in its normal sequence. Two items tonight. Item 9, Council Order Numbers 8081900. 8081900, request of the Housing Authority to appoint Richard Lyles to the City of Ellsworth Housing Authority Board to fill the remainder of Jeff Clark's recently vacated term, which was set to expire January 1st, 2024. And item 10, Council Order Number 081901, request of the Tax Collector Deputy Treasurer to initiate civil actions in the name of the City of Ellsworth for the purpose of collecting delinquent personal property taxes.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Unanimous. Under new business, item 11, public hearing and action on the application for the following licenses. Before I get into it, Madam Clerk, is everything all set on these? Thank you. First tonight, Daniel C. Potts, doing business as Lakeside Cedar Cabins, 397 Mariahville Road, for renewal of a city lodging license. I'll open the public hearing if there's anyone that'd like to comment on this. Seeing none, public hearing is closed. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, move approval of request of Daniel Potts, Lakeside Cedar Cabins for renewal.
Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous. Next, Barb and Kevin Buzza, doing business as Silver Saints Sanctuary, 33 Birch Avenue, for renewal of a city lodging license. Public hearing is open. Public hearing is closed. Councilors.
Move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous. ARG Incorporated, doing business as Pat's Pizza, 396 High Street, for renewal of a city Class C license, victualler and liquor, and renewal of a state restaurant Class 1, 2, 3, and 4 malt, spiritus, and vinous liquor license. Public hearing is open. It's now closed.
Mr. Chairman, move approval of request of Pat's Pizza for renewal of their licensing.
Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous. And Taste Jamaica LLC, 190 State Street, for a new city Class C license, victualler and liquor, and a new state restaurant Class 4 malt liquor license. Is there a representative of this application present?
Michelle Griffiths.
Thank you very much. Councilors?
Yes.
You haven't had a public hearing, but I had a question.
Oh,
I would ask, I see you working around the facility. Do you have a tentative open?
We opened today with her.
Okay, good. Welcome.
Yeah, good luck in your new location.
public hearing is open. Public hearing is closed.
Mr. Chairman, move approval.
Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous.
Good luck.
Thanks for coming back.
Bring food next time.
Item 12, Council Order Number 081902, request of the city manager to confirm the appointment of a new Ellsworth planner within the Development Services Department.
Yes, I'm delighted to put forth the name of Jeff Fitzgerald. I've hired Jeff as the city's planner in the Department of Development Services. Jeff was before my time here at City Hall, but it's always good to see the reaction that this has gotten from both councilors and staff, including Mr. Harris at a staff meeting last week. When he learned it, he perked right up. Jeff was with the city, I believe, for 6 years as an assistant planner. Prior to that, he worked for a dozen years for the Hancock County Planning Commission. 10? All right, I got my numbers off a little bit, but you get the point. He's got a strong background, good technical background, got a 2-year degree in architecture, and training in land surveying and geographic information systems, and also in his time in Bucksport as assessor, I believe Jeff was on the comp planning committee. In fact, chaired the comp planning committee, helped guide that effort, and of course the city will be looking at an updated comp plan in the probably not too distant future, so it's good to put your skills forth, Jeff, and proudly put forth Jeff's name for confirmation by the council.
Councilors, comments, questions?
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. It's my pleasure to move to confirm the appointment of Jeff Fitzgerald as the planner for the city of Ellsworth. Welcome back.
Second.
Motion and a second.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Fortier.
When I got the phone call from Deputy City Manager about, what do you think, we just lost our planner, should we call Jeff? And I don't think it was a nanosecond when I said yes. And so I'm very pleased to have you back on board with the team. Welcome.
Thank you.
You can hit the ground running.
Just in time for me to leave.
Your work is done.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Unanimous.
You think Flash in the Pan has been replacing him?
They're at
Big Cats.
He's Splash in the Pan, I think.
Yeah. See you on September 3rd.
All right.
Drive
Thank you.
careful. We'll lose another one.
Item 13, Council Order Number 081903, request of the Deputy Treasurer Tax Collector to award bids for tax-acquired property.
Good evening, councilors. Kelly Herrick, tax collector. On August 8th, bids were opened for the sale of 6 foreclosed properties which were acquired for non-payment of taxes, and 1 property which was acquired for non-payment of sewer taxes. We received bids on all of the properties. The minimum set bid price was met on each bid, and certified checks for 10% of each bid was received at the time of the bid opening. It is my recommendation to award the tax-acquired properties to the highest bidders as listed on the spreadsheet in your council packet.
Councilors, any thoughts, questions, or comments?
You ready?
I'm ready.
Mr. Chairman, move to approval council order number 081903, request of the deputy treasurer tax collector to accept the bids from the highest bidders as indicated above and to release said properties through quitclaim deeds.
Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? All those in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Kelly.
you,
Good
Kelly.
work.
Thank you.
Item 14, Council Order Number 081904, request of the Water Department Superintendent to award the bid for a new 2019 or 2020 half-ton, four-wheel drive regular cab work truck, and authorize the city manager to sign all necessary agreements.
Hello, I'm Reggie Wenzel, the superintendent for the water department. We received 2 bids back for this. The lowest bid is a 2019 half-ton for $26,388. I had $25,000 in the capital improvement budget, so $1,388 will have to come out of the operating budget, which has sufficient funds in it.
Had you sent out a request for more bids?
We did, yes. All of Darling's, because they're the ones that are in the local area. And just Darling's Auto Mall here on the top of the hill and Darling's Ford in Bangor were the only 2 that responded. They're the only ones that responded last time, but there were, all makes and models were
Trying to move them
made
around.
available. Yeah.
This truck is just a general service truck. It's not going to be used for snow plowing where it's
No,
half-ton.
just general
That's it.
service.
That's fine. And you're satisfied with the Ram?
Yes, we've had very good luck with last year's Ram. that
I
we
see
bought.
the 3 to 4 weeks before you'll get it, though.
Yes.
Councilor Fortier.
Was it 12?
12 to 14
12
years.
I meant
You know
months.
what?
I meant months.
Um,
My full part, excuse me.
What are we doing with the vehicle this is replacing?
Currently, we're going to hang on to it for now, pending the hiring of a 4th water operator.
Okay.
How bad a shape is it? Inspectable?
At this point, no, we're currently working on that, but just a few minor things to be done. But yes,
Yeah, okay.
it is.
But it's
Yeah.
not salvage yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
Give it a little more rust and we'll be there.
Yep.
They all say a few.
Yeah.
When I hear that, that's what scares me.
Eventually, it will go to highway department.
To Barry.
There's a-
If there's no further questions or comments, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the request to award to the lowest bidder, Darling's Auto Mall, at a cost of $26,388 for a Ram tradesman. $25,000 to be paid from the Water Department Capital Improvement Account, with the remaining $1,388 to be paid out of the general operating budget.
So moved. A second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Unanimous.
You didn't offer to take it in and trade, huh?
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Reggie.
Thank you. Item 15, Council Order Number 081905, request of the Public Works Director to approve a contract with Hedifine Engineering for services on the Water Street Drainage Project and authorize the city manager to sign all necessary agreements.
Good
evening,
evening,
Lisa.
councilors. Lisa Seklich, Public Works Director. So back in January, we looked into Hedifine Engineering doing a proposal for engineering services to do some drainage improvements along Water Street in the Foster Street area. Due to scope creep, some easement issues, and the potential for doing some overnight inspection work that'll be required during the construction project. I'm requesting to, original budget was going to be under 15,000, and now we're requesting to, it's estimated now at about 25,000, and requesting to allow up to 30,000 for including the construction portion, as we don't know exactly what we may get into once we get into construction. This project is in the area on Water Street, where we have significant ice buildup every winter due to the water running down the roadway. And we've spent countless evenings, nights, weekends with the grader out there scraping the road, sanding the road, salting the road,
Yep.
doing anything and everything we can to make it passable.
And it is a safety issue.
It is a safety issue.
Freeze thaw out there, catchment of water.
So the majority of the design is already completed. This additional funding will finish the design, put it out to bid, and do the construction inspection needed to whatever level we determine we want. And since there's a force main and there's the water main that goes down through there on Water Street, and to get these cross culverts installed is going to be working around those, and they have to be overnight to minimize traffic impacts. So I would like to have somebody from the engineering company out there overnight to make sure that if anything needs to be adjusted, we can make those calls in the field while it's all opened up.
When do you plan to start this?
Depending on some of the easement issues we're trying to work out at the moment, the goal was to try to do it this fall. If not, it may be a winter or spring project. It is budgeted. The design originally was part of my FY19 budget, and then it has been rolled over into my FY20 budget, local roads budget, additionally. So the money is set aside essentially.
And as the Public Works Director referred to it as scope creep on drainage projects till you get under the hood. It's hard to know what you're working with, so not unusual.
Yep. And it's upsized pipes, more catch basins. It's trying to maintain or catch, Mother Nature.
Counselor?
Does this have any overlap with the other project that's going to be taking place on Water Street in relation to what we're required to, the required changes that we have to make?
Oh, the pump station?
Yeah. Is there any?
It's further
So there's
down.
no, they don't
No.
link in or connect
Yeah.
anywhere?
No.
Nice thought.
Thought I did.
Well,
Unfortunately, no, we can't use
We can't
some of
dovetail
that
on
grant money.
But similar issue, we're at the bottom of a valley.
And that's it,
along there.
we're starting at the river, and we're putting brand new culverts at the river, and when you start drainage improvements, you start at the bottom, and you work your way up the hill. And so this is legitimately the beginning, the start of a process of upgrading our entire system in the next 20 years.
It's a big challenge.
Mr. Chairman, move to approve continuing the design contract with Hedifine Engineering for the Water Street Drainage Project and allow the city manager to sign all required documentation with an amount not to exceed $30,000 and to be funded from the local roads budget, 9090900-59001.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further comment or question? All those in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you, councilors.
Item 16, council order number 081906, request of the Public Works Director to accept the mineral screening bid.
Good evening again. On Wednesday, August 7th, we accepted bids for mineral screening. 3 RFPs were requested and 3 bids were received. The summary of the bids is on your attached memo. We came in with RF Jordan being the low bidder, both in dollar per cubic yard to screen sand, as well as the credit that they would take for our tailings. So I am requesting to approve going into a contract with RF Jordan to do our winter sand screening.
Questions? Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, move to approve the bid for mineral screening to RF Jordan Sons Construction at the rate of $2.90 per cubic yard for screening city sand. The city also reserves the right to order sand screen from January through April 2010 at a, that would be wrong. That'd be going backwards.
2020?
No.
2020. At a price of $3.75 per cubic yard, and to allow the contractor to purchase the tailings that are greater than 3 inches at a price of $1 per cubic yard.
Second.
Counselor?
Question before we move ahead. 8,000 yards of sand, yet there's 5,000 yards of tailings. So they'll go through 13,000 yards of fill before they get,
Nope, so we want 8,000 yards of sand. They're saying they will purchase 5,000 yards of our tailings to offset the cost of the screening.
Not
Right,
from the
so
process.
we have that many cubic yards of tailings?
By the time we screen, and what we have left that'll kind of, if you know the pit, there's that trailer right out straight when you pull in. That whole bank down there, we're gonna kind of level it off, and we have,
But we have that many tailings, because I see second bid of McQuinn's only wanted 1,000 yards. That's why I began to wonder if this is leftovers from the screening, if there would be that much.
it's both leftovers as well as the stuff that we've had stockpiled for many moons.
Right. Fine.
Counselor Fortier?
One added info on that, McQueen's has the hottest ledge in the state in their pit. They do very little in round rock crushing anymore. It's mostly the ledge, so they probably don't have a market for 5,000, so they didn't want it. Is my take, knowing that business as well as I do.
All those in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you.
Item 17, Council Order Number 081907, requests the fire chief to award a bid for an E22-T-600 washer extractor, E22-404L Liberty pump, and Ram air dryer.
Good evening,
Good
Councilor.
evening,
Richard
Chief.
Tupper, Fire Chief. Sorry for all those letters and numbers there. Actually may not mean anything right there, but I'll explain. So we, just a little bit of history on this one. We did receive a grant in the amount of $20,000, of which I won't name the grantor because they choose on their behalf to not have public recognition. But it is in your packet so you know where that came from. This monies would be to purchase a gear washer, extractor, and dryer system. We did put out for a request for bids to 3 different vendors. We got 2 back. The one that is a lower price of $16,957 includes a washer extractor of similar or better, a dryer unit that is similar or better than the bids, and actually these wash machines require an external drainage pump, and the one that they added was a little bit bigger horsepower, but the same model. So everything that the second bid, the lower bid, provided is equal or better than what we put out for bid specs. So I do recommend that the council award that bid to IPS for a total of $16,957. This leaves funding within that grant funding to be able to pay for the plumbing necessary for the drainage and the electrical work hookup as well. Stays within budget. And I should mention that it does come with a very large shoehorn so that we can fit it in the station.
So you have room down there to fit it?
We do. We've actually physically measured the 2 spots that these 2 units would fit, and it's snug, but it does fit and it works.
What was formerly there before, a couple old Maytags, or?
We actually have a household washing machine, front-load washing machine. That's going away, as well as a small bench, which allows us to move a tool cabinet, which allows us to place the washing machine.
Okay.
And then our hose rack would move to another section of the station and now allow us to put the dryer in.
Good.
It's a little finagling, but it works.
Chief Saunders, you do know you're losing your office over this for these machines.
I've already lost my office.
They have big
All right,
dryers.
just wanted to make sure you had, give you
Yeah.
a heads up. Council,
Uh,
Manager Cole.
Mr. Chair, I do want to acknowledge the initiative on the part of the fire department to go after this grant, which shall not be named, grantor. I believe it was
Captain Dorr, yes, thank you.
Who wrote it, and I said, do you want me to take a look at it? And I did, and said, wow, I'm not, it was well done. And,
Captain Dorr did a fabulous job in crafting the verbiage in this to award this.
And I
grant.
know this type of grant, there's always a lot of competition for these types of money, so your group's to be commended.
Thank you.
Councilor Fortier.
Chief, do you think by any chance that the other bidder knew what your grant was?
Yes.
Yeah. They're $50 under the grant.
Any other comments or questions?
In fact, I believe they both did, honestly.
In, on my page, it says 16,975.
Yes, that is a
57.
typo. The exact figure is 16,957.
Okay.
Yes. So I
Let
saved
the
us
record show.
Ready?
I'm all set.
All right. Resolve to approve the request of the fire chief to purchase a washer extractor cabinet dryer with accessories and Liberty pump as proposed from the Industrial Protection Services at a cost of $16,957 to be funded from the Gear Extraction Grant account number one. I haven't got my glasses on. I think I'll have to cheat here. 152-0210-50825.
Second. You forgot the stroke in the middle.
I
Second.
was thinking of it, though.
Yeah.
Motion and a second. I'm sorry,
Ages.
is there, you seconded, is that correct?
I seconded.
Okay, all right,
Want
motion,
a couple more? I second that motion.
motion and a second. Further discussion? All those in favor?
Yeah.
Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
I'd further like to commend the chief for keeping it brief.
Yes, congratulations.
Positive reinforcement.
That's what we're here for.
Item 18. Where the hell did it just go? Item 18, Council Order Number 081908, request of the IT System Administrator to purchase an upgrade to the Vision Appraisal Assessing Software.
One, come through, shadow, there he is.
It's like magic.
At least I was paying attention, right? I mean, I knew it was my turn. This is pretty straightforward. We're currently on version 7 of Vision Appraisal. It's the software that the assessing department tracks all of their valuations in. That software is soon to be end-of-lifed and not supported by the company. Version 8 is available, and version 8 is $22,500. We don't have a lot of say in the matter, honestly, if we want to keep using it. So that's where we're at.
So you're more or less implying we're held hostage, other than jumping ship and trying to put something and confuse everybody to no end.
Right, and probably
Proprietary.
five times the cost to go with a
Yeah.
new product and convert it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we don't do this, the assessor can't send us the tax bills.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, and I assume, do you have any idea if this is really an upgrade or just a way to extort more money from the city?
It is a significant upgrade on the back end. The back end is an Oracle database currently, and they're moving that to a Microsoft SQL database. The system will actually not be available for 3 weeks while they do the conversion. So we coordinated that closely with Larry, so he'll be able to get
So,
by.
when is this planned upgrade?
It'll be in October.
Okay, not in hunting season as in now.
What was the
No.
lifespan of what is it?
Version 7.
Version 7?
Whenever, we've had this since the last time you did a evaluation.
That would win.
Couple months.
I wasn't here, so it was
Oh.
before 2008, so.
It's been a while.
Okay.
been a while in the software world.
Right.
Was this in the budget?
Yes, it's budgeted, yeah.
Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
I could look at that.
Are you doing the cloud installation or the non-cloud?
Non-cloud, we're
Non-cloud.
hosting local.
Still don't trust those clouds.
I trust some of them.
Some, certain clouds.
It,
Jason
we're,
likes to be able to.
we're
look
kind of
at
in an
his
in-between
server.
on a lot of the cloud offerings. We're not big enough, but we're not small enough, so we're still in that zone where it's generally less expensive to, put it on our in-house servers, especially with the investment we recently made in the server infrastructure, so.
Everything works. I've got great faith in you.
Yeah. In for a dime, in for a dollar.
And if you have any questions while you're doing it, Counselor Hamilton is a whiz at it. He can.
And his backup is Mr. Moore.
But the good news is we won't be doing it, the company will be doing it all, so.
He can help them.
Ready, Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
Move to approve the request of the IT Systems Administrator to proceed with a mandatory software upgrade for vision appraisal assessing software. Funding will be allocated as follows: $20,000 from the Vision Upgrade CIP and $2,500 from the Information Technology Professional Services account.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. Thanks, Jason.
Item 19, Council Order Number 081909, request of the police chief to award a bid for two new 2020 police cruisers and authorize the city manager to sign all necessary agreements. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening, councilors. So we opened our bids on August 13th. We received 2 bids this year, one from Darlings Ford in Bangor and the other one from Quirk of Augusta. And you have all the information on the bids in your packet. The Darlings Ford bid came in, the cruiser prices were slightly higher, but the trade-in values were greater, so the overall bid was lower. So it's my recommendation and request that that we purchase 2 2020 Ford Police Interceptor utility all-wheel drive vehicles from Darlings Ford of Bangor at a total cost of $67,698, less the $15,000 trade-in for the 2 vehicles that we'll be trading, for a final cost of $52,698.
Counselor.
2 vehicles being traded in are still rolling, correct, stock?
They are.
They will honor the price as long as they're still rolling at the end, no matter mileage?
That is my understanding. The mileage that they were provided in the bid specs was estimated mileage we were aware going into the bid that we were going to have to wait an extended period of time this year for the cruisers because of a decision that Ford made. So we were anticipating that. So when we put the bid specs out for our trade-ins, we let them know that the mileage that we were projecting was estimated. And they were both aware at the time of the bids that they were looking at vehicles that are currently being used.
Okay, as long as that's something they're aware of.
Good faith.
And I do say the wait period's what, 4 or 5 months?
Yeah, 12 to 18 weeks, because both companies have to order the vehicles once the agreement is signed.
And this is that new style cruiser, but after you reconfigured it, it meets all your required specifications?
That's correct, yes. Yep. They both met all the bid specs.
How have they changed?
The power plants have changed, they changed the transmission, and there's some dimensional change interior-wise, but basically, I mean, outwardly appearing, they're the same exact vehicle, so, but it's some internal changes that they've made.
We had pretty good luck with these.
Yes, we've had outstanding luck with the Ford Sport Utilities, and really for the price, they're still, although they're starting to approach some of the other market prices for like the Tahoe, for example, which is the other popular sport utility vehicle for police organizations, but they're still several $1,000s less than the Tahoe. So, and we, several years ago, we made the decision to consolidate our fleet all into one vehicle for ease of maintenance as well as, safety precautions. It's different when you go from one type of vehicle, one style, one manufacturer, to a different manufacturer. So for those purposes, we like to keep our vehicles, all standard and similar. So that's why we continue to look towards the Fords, even though this year was rather difficult for us because we're going to have to wait probably till December or into January before we have the new vehicles on the road.
Are either of the ones that we're trading in one of the cars that was involved in those minor accidents?
One of them was, yeah. One of the 2016 was damaged here in the parking lot. It's since been repaired, and that's estimated to have about 120,000 miles on it at trade, and we got less trade-in value for that one. The other vehicle's a 2017, which we are going to make concerted effort to keep under 100,000, and should be able to do that by utilizing it as a school resource officer once the school opens up. So that will be the plan with those vehicles until such time as we're ready to trade them.
Councilor Fortier.
We had discussion during budget time that, and I remember quite clearly that we had an interest in transitioning one of these to the code enforcement to get the sedan off the road and get our code enforcement into an all-wheel drive. Does anybody else remember that conversation? Because I brought it up to the chief prior to this, and he suggested that probably wasn't the best vehicle to transition, so.
Yeah, I think we did have that discussion. I think this isn't a good year to make that transition because we did, when the Taurus was transitioned over to code, there was a significant investment made in that vehicle. If you all remember, the engine had blown and it had to be replaced, and so I think, and currently this year being where we have to wait so long to get our new cruisers, both of our trade-in vehicles are going to have, well, one's going to have in excess of 100,000, the other one's going to have close to, if not over 100,000. And my anticipation is next year we may be in a better position where our trade-ins, two of the trade-ins, assuming that we continue on the cycle that we're on, would be a better, more viable vehicle to make that transition, because we hopefully won't be waiting 16 to 18 weeks to get our new ones. So we'd have the new ones sooner, the old ones will have fewer miles and be more suitable for long-term for the inspector's vehicle. So that's my 2 cents on the process, but
How much do we have in the capital account to fund this?
Apparently 52,000.
60, did we have 60 in there?
I don't know off the top, but it's close, if not, because we, going into my budget, we had the estimated cost of what the 2020 cruisers were going to cost from Quirk, and it's pretty close, so maybe off a small amount.
Mr. Chairman, move to approve the request of the Chief of Police to award a bid to Darlings Ford of Bangor in the amount of $52,698 for 2 new police cruisers to be funded from the Police Cruiser Capital Improvement Account 9090900-59007.
Second.
Motion and a second. Further comments? All those in favor? All those opposed? Council 40 are opposed, the rest in favor.
Want to test?
Yeah, I wanted Teslas.
Me too.
Chief, if you ever want to drive one to see what they're capable of, so you can talk to your people, see my sister. She's offered that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 20, Council Order Number 081910, request of the Finance Director to withdraw funds from the wastewater reserve account for the replacement of the channel grinder at the Main Street Pump Station. Good evening, Mr. Harris.
Good evening, all. Where is that located?
At the main pump station,
Oh,
right
it's not on
behind
Main
it.
Street?
No.
I can say I went through I couldn't remember having a pump station on Main
There's a
Street.
big confusion.
That's just what we call it now, because it's the main pump station that everything flows through to get to the plant.
Great.
And so, just to sum up, we have a grinder that basically all the flow from the city flows through before it gets to the main pump station, and grinds up the material and before it is pumped to our plant. The grinder has failed, significant damage. It's 7 years old. So we looked at two choices. We looked at what it would take to rebuild it, and then the vendor came up, took a look at the unit. They have a program called the Renew program that would allow us to get a new unit with a new design and reinstate a warranty for it. So that particular cost is $27,601.83. I also asked them to give me a parts quote on what it would take if we were to have to tear it down and try and repair it. The parts quote to repair it was $15,889. That would not include labor costs that we would probably have to pay somebody like CNC Machine Shop to fix it. And then it would leave us with something that we repaired that's an inferior design and not under warranty. And so the other thing that it allows us is they do not want that older unit in trade. We are allowed to keep that older unit. So as time moves through the budget season, if we have monies, we can look at rebuilding that unit as funds are available, and having it as a spare in the event that we have a future occurrence of the grinder being down, because right now there's nothing there. So everything is just going through our pump station and it's going to the plant, and we have a screen at the plant. The concern is the pumps that at the main pump station, if they plug, that's a problem. Nobody wants to see. And they haven't, and we have, we have redundancy there, but
Grinding is good.
grinding is good.
Yeah.
And so,
Go ahead.
and so I would like to recommend that we go with the Renew program and get the newer unit with the warranty.
Was it something unusual that caused the grinder to fail?
To me, it looks like something impacted the grinder. So the way the grinder works is that it has two stacks of teeth that rotate inward. And it's pretty capable of destroying pretty much anything that runs into it, from a 2x4 to a shoe. But it did look like there was some serious damage to the bottom cutter teeth on one side, and the whole bottom stack got shifted to the left. And so the thing is, it's submerged, and you can't see it, and you really can't drain that channel. So, we pulled it, and if there was something that caused the damage, it either got destroyed, or it's now in the bottom of the well in the pump station. But in either case, we don't know what caused the damage. We just know that it's significant.
It's probably a crazy question, but where does something like that originate from that could damage it? Does it come in out of the river or something? Or?
No, it's really weird what you find in sewers, to be honest with you.
That it is.
I could tell you some stories, but I won't.
Please.
Maybe not tonight.
But just for example, we've had
tell us anyway.
asphalt
It'll be in the paper.
this big, and some of our pipes that have caused blockages and stuff in the past that we've managed to remove. But it would have to have been something like that, because what typically you see is when we have these big spring storms and things like that, that force of that water is capable of moving some seriously large objects through the pipes. My best guess is whatever hit that thing, it probably destroyed it, but it destroyed itself at the same time. And so we're stuck now trying to figure out which way we want to go.
Mike, there's no labor mentioned here. Is this something you and your crew do, or you hire somebody to swap this out? or-
The new one is a drop-in. You just hook it up, hook the hydraulics up to it and stuff.
So,
We do it.
you're doing it, yeah, I was gonna say, there's
Yeah.
labor involved, but it's your
Yeah.
labor, you're not
Yeah.
outsourcing?
No.
Okay.
No. And the vendor will come up and do a startup on it. We would probably have to hire a boom truck. The unit weighs about a ton.
You don't have that many good men down there? Okay.
Counselor,
No,
You fire away, John.
have at it.
well, I move to approve the quote from JWC Environmental and authorize the finance director to withdraw $27,601.83 plus shipping from the wastewater capital reserve account to purchase the replacement grinder.
Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion, comments? All those in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. Good luck, and good luck with your mystery object.
Yeah.
Hey, you don't have to get down the bottom of that, and make sure it doesn't pop up again and get the new one, do you?
I might.
Rock.
Bottom of a lot of them.
Rock, scissors, paper, who goes?
That was nice when
If
they
we
say
could
get
get
to the
a-
bottom of it.
Oh, yeah.
If we could get a vac truck, we could go down and make sure that well's clean.
Aren't you going somewhere in 2 months like Elaine?
I sincerely, wholeheartedly agree.
Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving.
Have a good night.
See ya.
We going, Gim?
Item 21, council order number 081911, request to award a bid for the installation of carpeting at Ellsworth City Hall.
Yes, and given facilities manager Joyle is out today, I'm going to cover for him. There was $25,000 put in the budget for this carpet replacement, which covers a good portion of the first and second floors, but more precisely assessing, planning, code enforcement, IT, tax office, city manager's office, administrative assistant, reception area, finance office, finance director's office, and HR office. The facilities manager solicited quotes from 3 parties, Mark Saros, Riggs Rugs, and Family Floor Store. Initially, he just solicited price for materials and installation, but on reflection, I directed him to go back out and look at also moving costs, because I really didn't want our folks out there moving stuff, as well as looking at work at nights and weekends, because you're talking, one party was talking 8 to 4 only, and that could cause major disruption, to our customers and the tax office assessing code and such. So for a few $1,000s more, we can get it all done and well within budget. Based upon that premise, Mark Soros was the low bidder at $20,628. And again, materials installation, night and weekend work, and moving the furniture. I did have a conversation with Councilor Fortier for the meeting, and he brought up something I hadn't thought of, which is my office and the finance office are directly over the sleeping quarters of the fire department. So we'd certainly work with the contractor and the fire department to minimize disruption to the sleeping schedules and such. But for one, I can take my laptop and move out for a day or two if that's needed. I can operate from anywhere, and we'll work that out. But otherwise, I think this is the way to go, and I'd recommend the Mark Soros bid. I would note it, as it says in the memorandum, the facilities manager has worked with them. They did the PD installation, and apparently it worked out well.
And you are definitely going to do it at night?
Nights and weekends.
It's a definite, yes.
Yes, that's how the second quote was nights and weekends.
Well, I understood that, but if it's gonna be utilized, that's fine. If it's not gonna be utilized, then he's not low bidder, that's all.
Right.
Further questions? there a motion?
I would make the point, though, that there could be some daytime work. I wouldn't preclude that, but the idea is to move it out so it's not disrupting our operations.
Majority of it will be done
Right.
nights and weekends.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing that. but
Yeah.
Just being sure that if we're gonna spend the money, that it's done as
Yep.
it's said. Yeah. Mr. Chairman, move to award the carpeting bid as presented from City Hall to Mark Saros Carpeting for $20,628, which includes night and weekend work, and they will move the furniture.
Second?
Motion and a second. Further questions? All those in favor? All those opposed? Counselor Moore in opposition, the rest of us 4. Item 22, Council Order Number 081912, request to approve a contract between the City of Ellsworth and Northern Light Medical Transport, providing the quarters for, at the Ellsworth Fire Department. There is a request that be tabled until the August 26th special council meeting.
So moved.
Second?
All those in favor? Unanimous.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor? Unanimous.